That was pretty clever of
Yeah,
her.
all right, so I think we've got that going. Please, so I have no way of knowing for sure that it's on, except it seems it's doing something. That's about all I know.
And you
And
have the
then
little
here is the
recorder,
recorder too, just in case.
so we'll record.
Yeah, so and then I gotta turn this on. So there's like, slide the power to turn on. Power's on. Then beep. All right, so record is fixed. All right, well, I did the best I could, guys. If anybody wants to sign up to do that, you're welcome to it. What I need now is an agenda.
Yeah, I've got,
Is there anything after the fact on it, Dave? You can look to the back. Is there anything after the fact? Well, let me, is that a pile of new ones or is that yours?
no, I've got 3 of them for some reason.
All right,
I've got actually 4 of them. I don't know why. Here, have one.
thank you.
Does anybody else need an agenda?
Sometimes it changes.
No, I haven't,
Okay. How about you, Bob?
and I don't see
Do you
any
need
after
an
that.
agenda?
Do I need an agenda?
Yes.
You don't, so I don't see any after the fact either.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I think we are ready to go. Thumbs up here. All right, I hope we did the right stuff for the record. All righty then. Okay, it's just a few minutes after 7. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Or a regular meeting. Today is Monday, the 23rd of May, 2022. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as chair of the commission. To my left, Mr. Michael Newstad, who is our vice chairman. To my right, Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary. And at the end is Mr. Dave Frankel, who is a regular member. So all 4 of us will be voting members this evening. Again, I make note, we do not have a recording secretary this evening. And our wetlands enforcement officer is not available for the meeting today. So it's just up to the 4 of us. Okay, I don't think I have anything, yes we do, on the enforcement officer's report. You may recall, 4 weeks ago, 2 meetings ago, Michael brought up that one of his friends lives near Brook Road and made note there's a clear cut on, we think it's approximately 33 Brook Road.
Correct.
Everyone?
File was supposed to be on the cart. I don't see it. Here's the folder for it. So apparently what has transpired in the interim is Rochelle did get a chance to go out there, and as a result, on the 13th of May, sent a certified mail return receipt requested for a notice of violation. So she's got the name of the property owner, which she found at the tax collector's office, along with an address.
Mhm.
And this, I know this detail, and I think it's relevant because I spoke to Christine today around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And apparently the name that we have, which is, it's Brendan Kinsella, the address that we have for him, they don't live there anymore. It's because Christine, look, there's another name on that property, and it appears that the property was sold in 2020.
Hmm.
So the net of it is, we think we have the right name, but we do not have an address for them. So normally, I said, if things come back, we usually then engage the sheriff,
Mhm.
you know, to deliver these.
Right.
So this is all, like I said, middle of the afternoon today. So Christine and I probably will talk again tomorrow to see what we can do, you know, to try and get the correct address. And so because we could not confirm, because they both came back,
Mhm.
we were not able to schedule a show cause,
Mhm.
you know,
Okay,
for
you
that.
have no
which-
address.
Yeah,
Right.
now, so that's where we stand with that. Now, I did, and I think Michael's seen it as well, I did go out there Thursday. I didn't go onto the property, but I was able to, you know, park the truck right on the shoulder of the road, and with some binoculars, see that indeed, it is cleared, portions of it are grubbed, the subs are laying around the lot. There's one way big one, it has got a huge, incline to it. I mean, it goes downhill from Merlin Brook Road to this creek. It's gotta be, it's a good 7-iron to that creek. So, I mean, it's a good 140, 50 yards to that creek.
Mhm.
So I can't really see, but I can see that the property goes down and then comes right back up, and that's where the creek is.
Right, it's Merlin Brook.
Yeah, I did look, I took some binoculars, and I tried to, again, I did not go on the property, tried to look down there, and again, wetlands plants are not wetland soils, right? They're not wetland soils, but there's the kind of plants that one would see in wetland areas. There's ferns all over the place. So I can't really see how close to the creek they are, but there's no doubt at all, it's certainly within the 100-foot upland review area for the creek. I'm a little concerned that it's right at the creek, and some of it has been grubbed. There is one big, huge tree they took down. We mentioned it, it's gotta be 5 feet in diameter. I'm not kidding. I mean, it's 140 yards away, but it was a huge, huge, huge tree, which is no longer there.
Sad.
It's disgusting, you know? So, we're gonna see if we can find the property owner. Somebody has to have the
So
right
somebody
address.
owns it, right?
Maybe a further inquiry with the tax collector,
Mhm.
you know, to see if
Tax
they got,
collector would be good.
if when they sent the tax bill, they got aware of the change. My guess is they didn't, because according
Somebody had to do a title search on it. I mean, it's gotta be here someplace.
I don't know is the
Right.
answer. I really don't know. I said, this address is the one that the tax collector gave the
Right.
land use office.
Right.
So maybe with some further, whatever, I don't know, there's a dumpster on the property too, and it's got the company name. I don't know if the town
Yeah, I was
attorney
just
called and
gonna
said, hey,
suggest the dumpster and
who-
the backhoe that's on the
and
land.
there's a backhoe that's
See who
on,
owns it, call them and say, hey, who hired you to?
I don't know,
What could be
we
done.
may have to explore these kinds of things.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned, like I said, if we've got a big, huge rainstorm, you know, if the stumps were there all over the place, I wouldn't be as concerned, but they're gone in a lot of places. We get a big rainstorm, and that's a beautiful creek.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful, I know it because it's behind my house.
Does it have a name?
Not that no, it does not.
Okay.
It's not Merlin Brook.
I know it's not.
I think the answer to whoever owns the property would be looking at the January property tax payment.
Well, I think the land use office did. They trotted down the hall, talked to the tax collector, and that's the address they got from the tax collector. It's an address in New Milford. So, and again, I'm just not gonna say the address, you know, because the meeting's being recorded, you know, we don't need to do that. But again, Christine went to the tax records for New Milford. You can look them up, just like you can look them up for Brookfield.
Mm-hmm.
So she did that, and she said, oh, look at that. The name that we are looking for is not the name on the property there. So we're gonna see if we can find something. I said, I am concerned, like, we get a big rainstorm. So I'm gonna talk to the town attorney tomorrow and say, if we can't find these people, you know, is there something that the town can do to get some silt fence up? I don't know the answer to that, because I've never faced this problem before. So I don't know is the answer.
Well, I think whoever paid the taxes in January, and if they weren't paid, then that opens up another can of worms. But whoever paid them, we should be able to find the phone number.
You would
Think.
but that's what the tax collector knows. You know, for all we know, they showed up, handed him a check, you know, and the town, and who knows where the tax bill went. You know, they may not have even, it doesn't appear that the tax collector has the correct mailing address, because maybe the people who own the property have never updated it. Like I said, if you just
It would
walk
be
in and pay your
interesting to
taxes-
see whether the property is in arrears or not. I don't think it would be, but
I don't
you
know.
never know.
I don't know, so I said, I am just worried that, I said, you get a big 6-inch rainstorm, which mercifully none has happened, or in the near future. As I said, that is a pretty little creek. I said, there's no houses anywhere near that creek. Every house, probably mine's probably the closest at like 40 yards away. But everything down there, 60, 70 yards away, easy.
Yeah, it's a lovely spot, or was.
Yeah, right. So that's the unfortunate update on, again, what we think is 33 Merlin Brook Road. Alrighty. Site inspection reports. I asked Christine today, I don't think, again, because the property owners at 731 Federal Road, they've got a lot going on personally, as we know. I don't think we've gotten anything from them to deal with the notice of violation that we have on 731, because the silt has overtopped their, their management into the wetlands. So, again, understanding, I won't go into the details, understanding what they've got going on, I think we'll just keep an eye out on this.
By the way,
I don't think because they're not here and we don't have anything, it's necessary to go to fines, because I think their heart's in the right place. So, that's the other update I have.
okay. You did get the email that they wish to have the process continued to the next meeting?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Is that on, well, we can do that when we get to here.
Okay, when we get there.
When we get to there.
I'll
So those
bring
are
it
the two, because those are the two notices of, the two active notices of violation that we have right now. We've gone probably 3 years without any, and now we got 2. Alrighty, next is 23 Grays Bridge Road. Alright, you guys,
Yeah, no.
you go get the file, and, I don't know what we're doing.
Feel
for
free
chairs.
if you
You're
wanna
welcome
move
to get
these
'em
chairs
or
around.
make yourself comfy, or,
For the record, my name is Steve Sullivan from CC Engineers.
Jim McManus, J-Man Wetland Consulting Services.
why don't you, I'm listening, let me just go get the file. Yeah, go ahead.
All these Stefanos from the developer. Mark DeStefanis, 23 Grace Bridge Road.
So we submitted some revised plans based on the discussion at the last meeting. Wait.
So let me open up ours, Steve, so there's, we know we are looking at least what we think is the most current, and you can confirm that. So the one I have is the May 16th
Yep.
revision.
I think the best plan would be to turn to the second page.
Okay, because this is the as-is, right?
That's the layout plan. This is the green. So at the last meeting, we were asked to increase the distance from the stormwater basin to the river.
Yeah,
So we actually reduced this driveway width
okay,
from 60 to 33 feet.
wow.
So we pushed it in this direction. So that reduced, obviously, our overall impervious too by about 3,000 square feet.
Well, that's,
So
Bonus.
if you recall this was the line that we were trying
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
achieve,
yeah.
which I achieved
A
here.
very scientific one, right?
Yes, yes. but that enabled us to, you know, keep this intact. We have a page right here.
Okay.
See, that's the double row silt fence, that's our limit of construction.
So let's just see, you also got the little tree inventory in here, right?
Yeah, so that was, yeah, all these can be saved.
So all these can be
And then we
saved,
still
right?
have, some shrubs that we are planning on putting there as well.
That's these guys?
Well, that's also the whole site too.
Yeah.
Yeah, see this batch from right here. But we can save all these trees that we located before.
Okay, so we've got now, we've got what,
I got a scale. I got a
40,
scale, yeah.
45 feet or something-ish?
Yep, 45 feet.
Okay.
And it varies, obviously, as you go up and down.
And there's no trees in here right now, is that?
None that are the 6 inches or greater.
Okay, a couple smaller ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I very much appreciate that. I said, we're, you know, as you'll see in the agenda, I said, we've been reading up on, you know, the importance of riparian
Yeah, sure.
corridors,
Yep.
you know? You know, and trying to maintain those as
Mhm.
much as is. So, I don't know, Jim, what do you think? You all set with this? Is that, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
gonna work?
It's just, now we have a, you know, it's a robust buffer between the development and the Still River.
Yeah, well, we have pretty much what Mother Nature has left us.
Yeah.
And this is the existing, so there's
That-
nothing
that-
new here. The only thing, the new guys are up in here, right?
Right here,
Yeah.
yep. So we just kind of, behind our silt fence, we draw the new tree line, right? That's
Okay.
what's gonna be.
And any potential overflow on this is just sheet flow into the river, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing that,
correct, yes.
there's nothing
Yes.
that takes it
Right.
and directs it.
No,
Remember, Sharon, how
there's no point discharge.
extremely
Yeah.
disturbed the site here. as
Yeah,
well.
I
All
know.
the uplands are, you know, heavily disturbed.
So you said you brought this in? the-
Yes.
the- Is there now not going to be parking back there?
Nope, there is, if you look on this page. We
Okay.
still have,
And you have enough room for
we
parking?
still have enough room for parking. We just
Okay.
narrowed up the driveway.
Okay.
So we can still get our truck through here. See, this, we were given more space for this maneuver, so
Mhm.
we had the parking over here, so we narrowed that up, and that enabled.
And
me
that
to-
works with the fire department?
Yeah, we still got the
obviously.
maneuver for their truck to come through, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a disturbed site, and, you know, you've heard me say it 10,000 times. I always try and say, whatever we do, particularly on a disturbed site, you don't wanna make it worse.
Right.
No.
You know? Yeah, on a pristine site, you certainly don't wanna make anything worse, and if you have a chance to make something a little bit better, you know, then that's, you know, I don't think we're making anything better here. I mean, we're not, you know, there's nothing better about the site that we're doing, but I don't think we're making it any
Making it
worse.
any worse either.
Well, we're taking away the what was it, the 18-wheeler tractor trailer that was dumped there, and some other junk that was dumped on the
Yeah,
site.
and respect, I'm trying to be respectful of that. That's not a wetlands concern.
No, I know.
You know,
I
that's
know.
But
keep
it
the
is a
place-
wetlands concern. We are gonna take out a fair amount of invasives.
yeah, but it doesn't get really replaced by anything. We do take them out, but we're not replacing
Well,
them with,
Well, we're keeping a fair amount of trees
Yeah.
and adding additional trees.
yeah, but you're not coming in here taking any
No,
of the
No,
invasives
well,
out.
that would be,
Oh,
That
and
was a
that's
change
an
of
impossible
plans.
job.
that would be a big impact.
Yeah, it would be.
Because it's no way to, the only way to get that done effectively would it, through time, is to do through machinery. And
Yeah,
that's just not
that's
worth it at
bad.
this point.
That is bad.
'Cause it's, you know, as you guys been on site, I think, right?
I've driven past
yeah,
it. I
it's-
have not been
it's-
tramping through there.
I did it before the leaves came out, and I'm glad I did it before the leaves came out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 'cause it's all,
Oh, it's brutal.
it's a mess, I said. So that's probably the only thing is, just looking at this, again, I'm looking to see if there's anything we can do to say, hey, we made it a little bit better. Is there anything, could you guys just, and I don't think we're gonna hold you up, okay?
Okay.
But is there anything you guys can take a look at in terms of what is in this particular area
Mhm.
here?
Mhm.
And maybe Jim can help you,
Yeah,
because I said, I don't
yeah.
have an inventory, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate what we
Yep.
said, you know. Is there anything in here that you could get another couple of bigger trees in here, you know,
Mhm.
whether it's another 2 or so, you know?
Yeah.
Just to try and make it make
Yeah.
this a little better, you know? I don't know how many invasives are in this area, probably a lot of them.
But, I don't
It's
remember.
probably full of,
It's not pleasant.
yeah.
If you went out there, it'd be like, whoa.
I saw it. I saw it. I don't know. I mean, I understand not doing any kind of invasive removal on the
That's out of the
bank.
question. We can't go down there. That's.
No. But I'm wondering, even if in here, you know, can you guys take a look at that? You
Yeah.
know, if you guys can find a way to take, it'll be the usual suspects.
Yeah.
You know, the Japanese barberry, you know,
The main culprit on this one is bittersweet.
the bittersweet vine, right?
Yep.
If you guys can come, and it's just, you know, it's this area. If
okay.
you guys can take a look at.
Enhancing it.
Enhancing
Yeah.
that, right?
Yep.
Taking out the invasives here,
Mhm.
replacing them with
Native.
something, whether it's a shrub, you know, you can get 4 or 5 clethra in
Right.
there, or something like that.
Okay,
Okay, now we
Yep.
can say, look, we've made it a little bit better,
okay.
okay?
Yep.
And we can just make that, we'll make that a,
Stipulation,
Step-
where you don't want to do stipulation?
that's the simplest way, is to
Mhm.
make it a stipulation for me to say, look, come back to us in 60 days,
Mhm.
within 60 days, okay? And let us know let us know, you know, if you, what's involved.
Right.
Let me think this through a little bit, I'm talking to myself. You know, for a hand removal of the bittersweet and
Mhm.
any Japanese
Right,
here, and the ability to plant 5.
right. I'll talk to Nick, Nancy Park.
Yeah, 5 native plantings,
Mhm.
okay?
Trees or shrubs or.
Trees or shrubs.
Yep.
I don't,
I would have to take a look at it, see what it looks like out there, see what.
I don't know how much shade
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
is, you know,
yeah.
clethra, something like that
Yeah.
usually
Oh, yeah, no,
requires a
we'll get
little bit
something
more.
that's-
Yeah, that's before the plants. but
Yeah,
we're-
so let's call this,
Yep.
okay. So that's my thinking, Bob.
That's,
Dave?
yes, that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll call this, and I'll probably highlight it, because this is a plan I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
that's fine.
whatever. Yeah, I think we'll just call this Area 1.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right, we'll call this Area 1. You know, again, is 60 days enough time?
Yeah.
Okay.
fine.
60 days to give us a plan that will that will hand remove the invasive
Right.
plants
Yep.
and provide replacement plantings of shrubs or trees, you know, in
Mhm.
the neighborhood of 6 to 12-ish.
Yeah, I'll see what they can
Okay.
fit in there. Yeah.
All right? And like I said, now we've got a site, like I said, you're getting out all these invasives, but it
Mhm.
doesn't help anything here. It doesn't help the river over here, or anybody that lives close to the river.
So is
But
this
a little
gonna
bit.
be, Sharon, is this gonna be a condition of approval? Because we're gonna zoning in June, yeah.
That shouldn't hold you up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Just what-
approve it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're gonna
Just-
approve it.
just- okay.
We're gonna
That's
approve
fine.
it with the stipulation that within 60 days, right? You provide us, you know, a plan,
Mhm.
you know, it's a written report, you don't have to show up, a written report,
Right.
you know.
Yep.
And I think we'd be looking for it to be done, you know, when you're done with the
Yeah.
project, doesn't have to
Yeah.
be done right away. I think we just
Right.
wanna have it in the plan,
Yep.
that you're gonna do hand removals, I'm gonna outline it here,
Yeah.
Area 1.
Yep.
And planting, you know, native plantings
Right.
of 6 to 12 shrubs or trees.
Can you put in that stipulation that it's done as they're constructing?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Because-
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I don't,
Right.
because, you know, this might be built, I don't know, in the winter. I don't know.
I don't think we
Yeah.
care, I'm
At the end of
thinking,
the project. you
whenever
want-
the project is
By
done,
the end of the project.
okay,
Yeah.
by the end of the project,
Okay.
okay?
Because the idea would be
Build
build
slot.
this and then we'll see what we got once we come in through here.
Yeah.
See what-
Right,
Yeah.
right,
it's
right, right,
reasonable.
right. And I think we can be, like I said, I think we can be flexible. All you need to give me within, or the commission, within
Yeah.
60 days is what the
Yeah.
updated plan
Yeah.
is. That yes, it's doable,
Yep.
right, which once you get in here and do, it's probably doable.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah, especially when we start to
Because it's an
get
area,
everything out of the way.
yeah, it's an area maybe 50, 60 feet roundish.
Once you clear it,
Yeah, we'll be able to do a
Yeah,
lot
well,
of
he's
it.
not planning to clear, right? You're gonna,
No.
No, but then, I mean, when we
Right.
start building this,
Right.
we're gonna have an access way to get
you're gonna
in
have an
there.
access way in there, okay?
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So we'll make it a condition of approval, but like I said,
Yep.
I think you're gonna get the approval, we'll get
Yep.
this, we'll attach it to the plan, and the
Yep.
timing will be
60
by the
days.
end of the
Oh,
project.
Okay, yep,
the work to be
Yeah,
completed
gotcha,
by the
yep.
end of the project, so I'll try and get that into the motion,
okay.
okay?
Yep.
So let's call this Area One.
Area one,
That
unless
sounds
you wanna
very,
do
sounds
area.
very alien, doesn't it?
I was gonna say,
Or you could just,
area 49 if you want to.
49.
or you could just call it the area to the northeast of the.
No, just
infiltration.
area
Well, I
one
think
is
we'll
good.
describe it, you know,
Okay.
but I think I'm just gonna call it out
Sure.
here, so
Yeah,
it's going
just
to be.
area one is good.
Yeah, so we obviously don't need you to go, you know, ripping
Yeah.
up anything in the
Right.
wetlands, so the line is intentionally outside of the wetlands, okay? Area one, and I'll put the notes in, see approval. Okay. All right. Okay, anything, so that's what I think, normal stipulations, can you guys think of anything else?
Do you want to be sort of specific? When we first started talking about this, you said 2 trees, and then we were up
Said
to
6 to 12.
I'm
6 to 12.
Yeah,
We kept
bushes, 'cause
going
now we
up,
got
so
bushes. I'm gonna say, the plan will be something between, something in the neighborhood of 4 to 12
Native species.
native species,
yeah, okay,
Of
good.
trees and or
Okay.
shrubs.
Trees or shrubs, yeah, right, not flowers.
Nope.
Nope, not flowers, hand removal,
Yep.
okay. So I'll say 4 to 12,
Okay.
4 to 12.
okay?
Do you want to write that in
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I'm going to, yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
yep, yep,
Sorry,
yep.
you didn't
No,
mean
no,
to
no,
tell you
no,
what to do.
all offers of assistance are gratefully appreciated. Okay, you want me to just do this?
You can or I can.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're doing an approval.
Yep.
That's nice. In the matter of 23 Grays Bridge Road, item number W-22-9, I'd like to make a motion to approve 23 Grays Bridge Road based on a drawing by CCA dated 3/23/22 with a revision on 5/16 of 22. With all the usual stipulations, plus,
As
and I made
described
notes
on sheet,
that,
on sheet C4,
on sheet C4, in an area marked Area 1 to the northeast of the infiltration basin, that the hand removal of invasive species, and replant the area with 4 to 12 native trees or shrubs, and that we will be provided within 60 days of the plan for the plantings, and the work will be completed at the completion of the project. Did I miss anything?
to be effective?
Oh, I'm sorry, there is something else. To be effective the day after publication.
And I'll second that.
Okay, so I think we got that. We got the effective date, we got the usual stipulations, we've got Area 1, hand removal of invasives, replacing with 4 to 12 native shrubs, trees. The plan by 60 days, work complete by end of project.
Very good.
All right, so second, anything else?
Nope, I think that covers it.
Okay,
Oops. All right. Nice having little cameras like this.
It is.
I don't know if you'll
Notes.
pick up the pink there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
showing.
it's
Very
showing.
well.
You
It's
can
showing.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Just email.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, no.
All right, so
good.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed, any abstentions? All right, motion carries unanimously.
And good luck with
All
the
right, guys.
project also.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you. I hope everything goes well.
Chairwoman, thanks for the
Great.
input.
All right.
Good ideas.
Like I said, this, you know, the wetlands in that river, they belong to everybody. You know, they belong to everybody.
No, this is good input.
Yeah.
Very much realized.
Take care.
You take care too. Hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So long now.
all right. So, Michael, why do this? You wanna do 731?
Yeah, I do. You didn't say, I got an email from Christine saying that Tony Lucera has asked for a continuation to the next meeting for 731 Federal Road. Reason given, Michelle is on her honeymoon. I will make a motion that we continue.
Wait, just before you do, just to help me remember, the one holdup that I had on 731,
Yeah?
I think I'm okay with that. There was that tiny little intermittent water course on the southwest corner that was on the plans, which I probably didn't pick up on, you know, when we were looking at them on Zoom. So I read Jim's report and from the soil scientist, and I read Jody Chase's. They called out the water course, that little water course, but they didn't say what the source of it was. But it's almost certainly drains from the
road?
from the road.
Yeah.
So even though I missed, because I would have liked to have made more attention to that, I missed that they're gonna pave over the original route of that little intermittent water course. I don't think it's the end of the world. There's gonna be plenty of place for that, and it's not
Couldn't it cause flooding someplace else?
Well, weren't they going to?
Well, they're having problems on the site right now with the stormwater.
Mm-hmm.
The 731 you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but I think it's not the end of the world. Again, I wish I would have picked up on it. Their reports don't really call it out. I may have said that. They don't really call it out for the source. But I think it's gonna be all right, because it's gonna be just directed to whatever that area is. It was gonna be clear and all the stormwater, and then boom, it's gonna go into their detention basins down there.
Well, weren't they planning on using a pipe to redirect the
Yeah, they
water
are.
course under the driveway?
Yeah, but it's not wetland soils
Mhm.
right there. And I don't know necessarily if it's going to, with the stormwater, if it's going to turn into now a more permanent water course. I don't really know. So I can go both ways on whether it's a pipe or it's
Or-
a open bottom culvert, you know, which
Oh.
is a better practice.
Yeah,
You know,
we did discuss that, and I would go with I think the culvert. From everything I've read, that's by far the better
It's
solution.
definitely by far, I said, but it's not, like I said, it isn't, I can't
Earth-shattering.
read in any of the documentation where that little stormwater thing goes. So, I mean, we're not gonna make any decisions today, but
No.
that's still the one thing, if anybody wants to take a look at it and maybe get a little bit more perspective on it than I have, I could probably go both ways on whether it's a pipe or, because it's an
Well,
open.
why don't we listen to what they
Yeah,
respond to on
right.
that, and then we can make a
Right.
decision?
Yeah, I mean, a pipe, probably, it's stormwater from the street. I don't think there's a spring there, you know.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Or there's, I don't think the wetland, which is just like 30 yards to the right,
Mhm.
there's no, I didn't read in anything from Jim or Jody, or, I don't remember whom all did the stormwater management on 731, might have been you, but, that was the source.
Didn't they say there was a pipe in there that sort of went
It
nowhere?
goes
and did
nowhere, and they're gonna
Nothing?
leave it. No, but that's on 701,
Oh, okay.
that's on 701.
I can give
Yeah.
you my 2 cents on
Yeah,
pipe
n-
versus bottomless culvert.
Not, yeah, I'm afraid
Okay.
probably not. So I definitely, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
But I think the challenge is, it isn't like really wetland soils, you know, and it's sort of stormwater. So, we'll see. All right, so let me just approve this. All right, so, now, go ahead, can we continue that now?
Yeah,
I'll take that motion.
I'd like to make a motion to continue 731 Federal Road, item number W-22-18 to the next scheduled meeting.
Second that.
Okay, Bob seconds. Any other discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that motion carries unanimous. Where did that recorder go? Hope that's okay. Oops.
I will never mention that.
I never mentioned that. Okay, now we've got 35 Merlin Brook Road. Again, so just to maybe rehash, just so we get it correct on the agenda, the property owner, per the tax records, there seems to be a problem with the name and the address
Mm-hmm.
of the property owner, so we have not gotten in communication with the owner of the property. If anybody is out there and watching and knows who might be the owner of 35 Merlin Brook Road, or have seen anything with 35 Merlin Brook Road, anybody who's watching can give us any clues, please call the land use office. We'll be eager for any assistance here in the matter. So that's why we do not have a show cause hearing, because we have not been able to confirm with the property owner about the issue.
How far is that from Donald Guff's? Guff's property? Didn't he have property over there?
Yeah, if you go down Merlin Brook Road,
Yeah.
you know, just as you go up to the, you go past Manor Road, you go, start to go up the hill, you got Chickadee.
Yeah.
Get to the top of the hill, it's just past Groff's, it's like one lot, and I think it's the second lot. So it's right
Do you know,
at the,
do you know Chris Cook?
no.
Or Eric Cook? Michelle Cook, she was on our
Oh,
our
yeah,
board.
oh, yeah,
Her
yeah,
husband,
yeah, yeah,
they live over there.
Yeah, I know where they live,
Yeah.
yeah, they live about the same distance that I do, about half a mile away.
Okay.
So, do they
Well,
know them? Possibly.
I know, because they deal, I mean, he deals with real estate.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
just
I'll
what
ask
they,
them.
so.
Did you say there was a machine on the property?
There's several machines on the
Okay, so something is going on then there.
something, yeah, oh yeah, something's going on. Yeah, there's excavators there, there's a 2 or 3 skid steers, depending on how you wanna count them. There is something else. There is a dumpster on the property. It looks like a lot of the stumps have been cleared up on the Merlin Brook Road. I've been over there a couple of times. I've not seen any real activity. Michael said he didn't see an excavator when he saw it, but there was
Yeah.
definitely a big excavator.
Do you
there.
think they were simply parking them there for other projects?
I do
Yeah,
not.
no,
No, I do not.
I mean, something is definitely going on there.
Yeah.
It was clear cut about a month ago.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're gonna continue 35 Merlin Brook to show cause to our next scheduled meeting. Do I have a second for that?
I'll
Second.
Dave seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right.
How many meetings could we go through with this show cause hearing before something else happens?
What would the something else be?
There has to be a step if they don't show up for a show
Well,
cause.
we gotta find them first. We gotta find them.
So in other words, nothing could happen if we can't find them?
Well, the other thing I'm going to do is, I'm a little concerned, as I said in the beginning, or the violation, I'm a little concerned about, God forbid, we get, no, because we all want rain, right? We can stand a little rain. Get a little rain, we have erosion into this creek, because
Mhm.
here, it almost looks like it's right at the creek edge. Can't confirm, but it does look like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna speak with the town attorney and explain the situation and see if there's anything that we can do, the town could do, to get some silt fence up. I don't know what rights we have.
Does
I don't
the
know. I
town,
have no idea.
when one submits a check for the property taxes, do you know if the town makes a copy of the check before they deposit it?
I have no idea.
Because that would probably be the key to
When I pay
finding
my
them.
check, they don't make a copy of mine, I can tell you that.
Well, they don't give it to you, but you don't know if they might make a copy before they deposit it.
I don't know, I don't know.
That's a question for the tax office.
Christine is gonna wander down there and talk to the tax collector again.
Yeah, ask it, if they have a copy, whoever is on the check, there'll be a name and address of some sort, and there might even be a phone number, sometimes checks
Sometimes.
have phone numbers.
Well, that's what I said, the fact that they couldn't get a hold of him just came to my attention today at 2:30, so
Mhm.
we have to pursue that, yeah.
Mhm.
So, like I said, I am a little worried about the property in a rainstorm.
Mhm.
All right, so that's gonna take us to 63 Kellogg. So we'll get your name and address.
Steve Trinkus, consulting engineer, 114 Hunters Ridge Road in Southbridge, representing the owner, Bill Allen, at 63 Kellogg Street. Actually, one of my clients, Tim Draper, is a landscape contractor that has done work for Bill out here and
Oh.
got me involved with it.
Oh,
Basically, about a year ago.
I do have a general question for you. Does this have any, there's no crossings in here, there's
No,
no
no,
stream crossings?
no,
So-
this is all up above the
But if there
lake.
was a stream crossing, right, are open bottom culverts?
Not here, no.
Okay, but
No,
in
'cause-
general, open bottom culverts are preferred over?
Well, deep prefers them, but I will tell you this, I did a solar array up in Winchester, and we had 2 intermittent streams that were less wide than the table.
Yeah,
And because of one of the DEP guys on the siting council, we had to do open bottom culverts. What he wound up doing was digging out literally the entire channel in order to put 2 footings in, and then the boxes got set on it, and
Yeah.
he put stones back underneath. It's a greater impact than putting a pipe in.
yeah, I'm
So,
again aware
I
that
mean,
sometimes,
a perennial stream where the abutments are outside the stream channel,
yeah,
that's a better way to go.
yeah,
But for this intermittent stream, open bottom culverts was a much greater impact overall.
yeah. Thank you.
That's what Deep wanted. So,
Thank you for that.
That's-
We always learn something when you come.
I try.
Tell your
I
client how grateful we are.
Appreciate it.
All right, so
So
just,
anyway,
just,
so-
just a quick, this is what I always do here, so we've got, jeez, I can't read these things. What do we got? We got replacement of existing
Septic
a septic system, oh dear, currently
Yeah.
failing, oh dear, periodically discharges. It's a, oh dear, okay, so it's about an acre, there's
Yeah,
no
lot.
disturbed wetlands and there's
Correct.
no disturbed water courses, okay, that's what I wanted to get on the
So
record.
basically, another thing that should remain
Is this the,
somewhat nameless, when this house was built, had a designed the septic system here. The existing system is a, one long row of mantis system, this lightly dashed line. The well is down near the lake, and so they pushed the end of this kind of over the slope, and the 2 problems occurred. One is they didn't bring the select fill down enough past this end. So this is the end that is breaking out. When Tim first had me involved, we have a curtain drain that comes off this corner of the house going this way, because this is all hard pan soil. So we dug, Tim dug a hole just uphill of the septic tank to see if we're still getting groundwater, that maybe the curtain drain simply needed to be extended. Dug a hole 7 foot down, left it open for an hour, no water. So we know it's not groundwater. So just recently in April, Tim and I went out there. The owner has other houses, so he wasn't here. So Tim had the tank pumped, and we pulled off the ties to get to the end of the system, and then we dug a test pit off the end of it here. And, we got down, and then Tim slowly dug back towards the end of the mantis system, and we were in the select fill at that point. Well, we got about 6 inches away from the end of the mantis, and water came shooting out of the mantis. Now, if the sand was working, that shouldn't have not been full.
Exactly.
So it filled up the test pit, and again, that pit was open for an hour. The water did not move. It did not go into the sand. So we dug a test pit downhill, and I had Tim dig back uphill.
I'm so glad you're
So,
here.
same thing. I got closer with a shovel, and it led into the hole, filled up, and just didn't move. I had one in New Fairfield a number of years ago, the same condition occurred, and what the problem was the select fill was not acceptable. It had too many fines in it. So we took 2 different samples from both of the holes. We had soil testing in Oxford do sieve tests on them, both as what they call wet sieves and dry sieves. Both of them, failed, not a huge amount. One was 5.7% on the 200 sieve, the other was like 8.3. The standard is 0 to 5% on the 200 sieve, and that's the real fine stuff. That's your silts and clays.
Yeah,
So most native bank run gravel sands or washed concrete sand will be 1.5%. I mean, it's very coarse. So when you get up to 5 and even over 5, basically there's too many fines in there, and the select fill seals up, and the effluent doesn't go anywhere. And the fact that the hole off the end sat there for an hour and the water surface did not move, and it was all in select sand, the sand is preventing this from going out. So what we're proposing to do is rip out the mantis system. It's a 6-bedroom house. This has been submitted to Paul at the Health Department. We're asking for a well waiver.
So
from
Paul has
75.
approved this or not?
I believe he has. I haven't gotten anything written from him, but he's had it. I did the revision back on May 6th
Okay.
and sent it to him.
I'm
You know,
trying to save you some time.
Yeah, the effluent goes this way, the well's over here, so gain a waiver, you know, for the setback, he said would not be a problem. And basically what we're gonna do is dig out all the fill material, get down to original grade, and then we're gonna put in 2 rows at 96 feet of 4x1 concrete galleries. I'm not a fan of Mantis because they're backfilled with sand, so there's very little storage volume in this. Granted, this, you know, the people that
These
own
are the
this
more
house-
traditional ones,
This
right?
is more traditional, it's
Yeah.
a standard gallery, you know,
Yeah.
it's open, so you got storage. You know, Bill Allen, you know, he and his wife, when they come up here, they're the only ones, but they have a family that comes up, so, you know, as any house along the lake.
Then they
you know,
bring
it's-
children.
It's the
Yeah,
party,
exactly.
it's the party house, you know, I hate to say it that way, but that's what they are, so, you know, the gallery system provides us the storage volume.
Right.
And then the select fill will go 10 foot downhill, 10 foot off the ends, but we're also putting the system where we're pretty much on uniform contours. I'm not hanging off the end of this slope, basically. And, I mean, this has been breaking out for a year periodically, you know, so it's a failing system is what it is. So, we'd love to get this expedited so Tim can get out there and, you know, take it all apart. It's gonna be,
Well, obviously, there's no effect on the wetlands system.
no, none at all.
So it's everything,
So really-
everything here is in the upland review area,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the
Everything.
lake is
The lake
down
is like
here,
right here,
yeah,
so it's
so
all in the
upland
upland review
review.
area.
I mean, I don't know how that concerns us, actually, Sharon.
No, it's a 200-foot upland
It's
review
200
from the
feet.
lake,
Oh,
so,
okay.
I mean, I
200
think
feet.
the house even goes.
That's what I'm
you know,
saying, we
within
don't
that, so.
have, this lot does not have,
Yeah, we didn't
This-
have, the survey that we took this from, the boundary didn't actually have the lake edge shown on it, so,
right,
but
When was the house built and?
it was
this-
about 6 years ago. So this.
Oh, it's fairly new.
Yeah, this septic system should not be having problems after 6 years,
all right.
I agree.
you know,
All right,
definitely
so-
not, so,
So, no, wait, there's one other thing here with the well,
yeah.
and, you don't wanna have it too close to the well.
Well,
Or
no,
75
this is the 75-foot radius right here, this is a 65-foot radius. You know, but again, the effluent is going this way, not towards the well, and in that case, waivers have been granted for that. You know,
The case is 60 inches up anyways, right?
yeah, the casing's all the way into bedrock, you
Right.
know, and depending on the depth of bedrock, it's, you know,
Or it's supposed to be.
yeah, well, they have to because they don't get their CO without that, so.
That's not true. I was in the water.
Well
business.
test, really? Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
You
I
can,
mean,
you
I
can
think
do, you
the well-
can,
I
you
know
can
when
do,
I
you can
built
do a
my
gravel,
house-
you can do a gravel well.
Well,
You know, I'm just,
yeah, no,
just
I
saying.
mean, most wells.
I think code today is you gotta be a minimum of 10 feet into the rock.
When I built my house, my only house that's out there, I built the first one in '91, we had to be 20 foot in bedrock,
Here, what town?
Southbury. And, you know, I had rock at 5 feet, so 20 foot of casing,
Right,
you know,
right.
it's
Well,
kind of a
no,
given,
not an issue.
you know.
With
so.
6 bedrooms, incidentally, what's the size of the house, do you know offhand?
If I had to guess, I mean, it's probably around 4,000 square foot. It's
Wow,
not
quite
exact-
a,
It's not exactly a small house. on the
no,
lake,
no, not
so.
at all, no.
Okay.
But, you know, like I said, you know, mostly he and his wife were there, but, you know, but the fact that this system was full and nobody had been in it, you know, for 2 weeks,
Right,
tells me something's going on.
right. Mark,
So
Mark
it's,
was something.
so they're drilling, they gotta drill
No,
the well too?
that's the
Okay.
existing well.
There's no pool in this,
No,
right?
no.
Okay,
I was just
So,
gonna
no,
ask that
we're not
question.
asking for that this
Right.
time, we'll come back for that, so.
so the pool is not approved,
Not
right?
approved, no, we're just looking for the septic at this point in time.
Why, are they
5,
planning to do
23,
something with
20.
They have I guess a pickleball court and athletic thing up here. And they want to, you know, ultimately do a pool on a pool house, but that'll be another application. We don't have, you know, plans for that at this time. So, yeah, I mean, this, you know, I think there may be litigation, you know, you
Yes.
know, with this because the
Yes,
system should not have died.
not after 6 years.
No, not at all. So,
Not
because
approved.
The one I had for one of my clients, they did 2 lots in the clear, one high side of the road, one on the low side of the road, both same soils, hard pan was like 20 inches down. The upper one, after about a year, my client called me and said, yeah, we got a little wet spot in the yard, went out,
and there was a little water, but it was, you could barely smell effluent. So I said, you know, you might have a running toilet or something, and they did. So then, fast forward year two, Prairie calls me and says, you know, we still had a wet spot. So then we started digging it out. And the same thing, we dug adjacent to the trench, you know, off the trench, and then dug back towards it. Nice deep hole, water poured out of the trench into it and just sat. And when we did the sieve test on that, it was 10.7, twice the code. And when they dug it all out, you know, it was a trench system, and they dug it all out back to the original hard pan soil. No groundwater, no, you know, no problem whatsoever. You know, got new select fill and, you know, put in the gallery system instead, and no problem. But-
Would you give me just a quick lesson?
Oh.
You're talking about something called a sieve test?
Yeah, the sieve test.
What is that? What is it measuring?
It measures particle size of the sand.
Okay.
So basically,
They do it on
I'm gonna
gravel
sell
road.
one at a tag sale.
Yeah.
Basically, what sieves, there's a series of screens,
Oh,
and they go
okay.
from number
Ah,
40,
as in
number 10.
sieve, screen,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And 200 is like finer than your window screen on a screen
Yeah,
in porch.
so what you need is a larger granules.
Yeah, you want, they only permit for select fill for septic
Mm-hmm.
systems at the 200 sieve, which is the smallest. No more than 5% of the material by volume can pass through that.
Okay.
Because that's your silts and clays,
Mhm.
and that's what glues
Gotcha.
this up
How
together.
can you ever figure that
They-
out when you have a truck
They do,
ready
they
to
do
back
civil,
up?
they do civ analysis for community wells.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they do this, that's
Yeah,
part of the
okay.
procedure.
Right, yeah,
Right.
so, you know, but.
Thank you.
You know,
Sure.
but like,
Makes
where
me
some of the
curious.
fill, some of this fill we dug out here was that white limestone stuff, which
Yeah.
came out of ASI, which is now O&G New Milford. And these manufactured quote-unquote sands are crushed rock, and they, you know, crush it, they screen it, you know, into different sizes, and then they basically make a cake batter out of it, you know, this, so much of this pile, so much of that pile. But the problem is, natural sand and gravel has knuckles like this, so even when you compact it, there's still space around it. When the crushed rock gets wet, everything is square faces.
Yeah.
And the square faces start pancaking on top of each other, and it seals up.
Or limestone particularly.
Well, particularly, yeah, limestone's particularly
yeah,
bad.
exactly.
Huh.
But years ago, when Fairfield Resources was opened, my old bosses in Georgetown did a system in Wilton for the planning secretary there. They designed it and they built it, and a year later, it was failing, and, you know, the fill was bad. And Bill, who was the engineer, you know, at first Fairfield was like, well, it's not our responsibility. And Bill basically said, you know, we're gonna sue you then, you know, and they made good, you know, to replace it. But, you know, it's, you know, getting good sand, the best sand is coming out of Canaan, but you get 2, maybe 3 truckloads of sand a day
Out of Canaan?
out of Canaan,
Uh-huh.
you know.
What's
I know
Canaan,
Canaan's up
Connecticut?
like, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
northwest,
Connecticut.
that's one step away from Massachusetts.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
It's beautiful native bank-run sand and gravel, but getting it down here.
That's the
trucks
Housatonic Valley.
Huh?
That's the Housatonic Valley.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's great material,
that
but the
area
cost
well,
of getting it down here on dump trucks is,
Mm-hmm.
drives up
Yeah,
the
you ought to
cost
come down
pretty over.
Right.
Route 7 to 22.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's, yeah, and
That's-
neither way is really great, you know, for
Right.
hauling material.
Oh, good.
So, but yeah, so that's why we'd like to get this, you know, hopefully blessed so we can, you know.
Yeah, well, we make
the
a,
work done,
we
so.
make a practice, I said, you know, what, septic systems, certainly in emergency, we don't make anybody wait, and
Right.
because even when people who say, you know what, we're trying to get ahead of things, we don't make them wait either. If we don't make the guys that are screwed up wait, we don't make the guys that are planning ahead wait either.
Right, yeah.
So, I think I can't see this as okay.
How soon
I
would
mean,
you?
Tim wants to get it done as soon as possible. Like, I told him I was gonna be here tonight, so he's gonna probably wait for a phone call from me.
Okay, well,
So,
I,
you know,
It has to be
You wanna-
published, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, but at least
Oh,
he
do
can.
you want me to go ahead with
Yeah.
your approval?
I think so, yeah.
All right, I think because of the emergency situation, I would like to make a motion that we approve 63 Kellogg, item number WD22-19, installation of a new septic system and removal of the existing system, based on a plan.
Oh, here we go.
Dated 4/27/22 and revised on 5/6/22 by Trinkus Engineering.
And,
And the approval does not include the proposed swimming pool shown on the plan.
Be effective.
In addition, with all the usual stipulations, to be effective the day after publication.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks,
Very
Steve.
good.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah,
Tell the owners
I hate
good luck.
Oh, yeah,
septic.
former commissioner, Mr. Mulvaney, it's like, first he moves to Reading, which he lived right down the road from where I live.
Oh, yeah?
Now he's over in Easton, who I went to high school with all.
Did he
the
move
Easton
again?
kids. Yeah, he bought a house in Easton, in the
Who's
north
this?
end of Easton.
Mulvaney.
Oh, my baby, really?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I saw him, like, what, are you collecting houses? I didn't even get to see him in Reading, cause I know where he lives. 'cause
Yeah.
It was right near Reading Center, and I mean, I lived on Deacon Abbott, it was like a.
He sold it? He said he's out of there in Houston now?
Yeah, he's over in Easton, yeah.
Tell him we
You
said
see him,
hello.
it's
I
on-
saw him like
on
3 weeks
Facebook.
ago.
You saw him a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
You
I was
mentioned
actually in his office, I just happened to stop there.
Ah, all right, well,
I'm sorry, I moved.
if anybody
once,
sees
so
him
I'm not
again,
really-
please tell him I said hi.
Not really looking to move again, that was enough.
Hey, who was your selectman? Mark something, he was the health director. He was
Well,
the-
actually, God, way back when I started cutting my teeth in land use, Mary Ann Qatar was first selectman.
But there was a guy who was the director of health in Newtown, Mark.
Oh, Mark Cooper.
Mark Coo-
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
was-
He's down on Wilton now, or Westport.
He's Westport, yeah,
Yeah.
which is now Aspatuck, because now Easton is part of that.
Okay.
And now, I guess, New Milford, Washington, I think, yeah, New Milford and Washington now are part of Southbury, Pomperaug Health District, which was Southbury, Oxford, and Woodbury, and now they're called Housatonic Valley. And unfortunately, the sanitarian there, Joe Kmetz, I like Joe, he doesn't,
Hey, yeah, just remember we're
Okay.
being recorded.
I got his cell phone number, but you'll leave him a message, but his message is, call me back. It's like, well, how many times can I call you back?
Yes. Mhm.
All right, I just wanted to make note that, right, okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you very
thanks,
much.
Steve.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Good
Good luck.
luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, so that's it. The next, it's only 8 o'clock, but I don't know if we want to, I just want to spend maybe 10 minutes on this.
Sure.
Okay? First, I want to do two things. First, just talk about the process, my ideas for the process if we decide to get consensus and go, and then we'll just talk about the details. So again, I think what we're talking about is a commission-sponsored change to the inland wetlands regulations, particularly talking about riparian corridors. So I think what I would propose is we should socialize this, talk about it, right? Decide how we all feel about it, and then a consensus, make a decision that we want to go forward. I would then propose we would circulate the draft to the town attorney, to zoning, to the conservation commission. You could send it to anybody else we thought about, and get their input. Probably let them know that we are planning a public hearing. We might even pick the date by then, by the time we circulate it, tell them we're thinking we would welcome any comments or any participation in the public hearing process. And then, let that go, get as many people as we could, to chime in on these. And then at the end, if we still thought it was good, we could approve them, and then the regulations would be changed. So that's my thinking for the process.
So to change the regulation requires only the approval of this commission?
Yep.
Not the town?
Nope, and not the state either.
Selectmen.
Nope, it's
Okay.
us, it's us.
That's what I thought, was my reading too.
Right. So, I said, I've looked at the regulations here, which, I don't think have been changed much since the very beginning. They are very basic, which is good, I think, because no circumstance is the same. So I think you want to give yourself the opportunity to say, oh, you know what? This does require a little, it's not just formulaic. We're not baking a cake here, right? We're making a sandwich, right? So the first thing I think we would be to add a definition, and the definition I think is riparian corridor. We've talked about it as riparian buffers, but it's actually a corridor, which would be defined. A lot of the definitions here and a lot of my thinking came from the document that Rochelle shared with us. It's the Connecticut Deep Policy on Riparian Corridor Protection, which is a wonderful 150 some odd page document. It does candidly go a little bit further when you read it. The things that they're talking about and they're trying to encourage people to do are sort of broader than the very constricted wetlands purview that we have.
Mhm.
You know, for example, we can't care about the foxes or the animals that need the river to drink because they don't live in the river, for an example. So, but it did provide a great deal of, I think, places to start, and one of them was, on page 13, it was the riparian buffer widths. And there was a chart here talking about buffer widths for wildlife habitat, floodwater storage, water quality, stream shading, you know, which we do particularly care about, you know, and bank stabilization. So this does talk about stream shading, bank stabilization in the, you know, 50-ish feet as the corridor. Talks about water quality protection.
Sharon, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What about, this stuff they put down to kill weeds that's incredibly toxic,
Roundup,
Roundup?
you don't want it.
I agree.
You don't want
Is
it.
that- Can we inject that or
Yep.
include this into this?
Yep.
That's what I like, that's
Yep.
one of the, because I've been,
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
bugging.
by the way, Sharon, you're, in what we've got here, you're talking about water courses and wetlands. What about the lake? Is that going to be included in?
It's not a riparian, it's not a water, the lake is
Okay, that's-
not, yeah.
I
it's-
understand
yeah,
that, but I
it-
just wanted to,
We
clarify.
could talk about the lake, but I think pretty much everything along Willenona and the lake is already developed.
Mhm.
But we could
Well,
certainly talk
Willenona
about
is
that.
certainly a water course. It's a lake. I
It's
mean, it's a
certainly water-
river.
Yeah, you're right,
It's
yeah.
called a lake, it's a river.
But it's definitely a river, you're right, thank you for the correction.
Yeah.
So,
Candlewood, though, is a storage reservoir. It's not,
I think it's a lake, I don't think it,
it was built as a storage reservoir.
correct.
Yeah. Interesting, I watched a fairly involved documentary on the subject, and it's one of the earliest ones, Candlewood.
Yeah,
It's a battery.
Yeah.
It stores electricity.
right.
But that's not an issue. My question was more about Willenona, which is a water
Well, I
source,
think Willenona would qualify.
qualify.
Yeah.
But the lake,
Doesn't.
no, because
It's a lake.
it's a lake, and that keeps us out of the issue of the 440 line and where our purview is, where our authority is.
Yeah.
I think the other problem with Candlewood Lake, it involves 6 municipalities. So
The
we're
what?
one of 6.
I'm sorry, fix it.
6 municipalities.
Oh,
Well,
right.
almost any water course will go through more than one town. We certainly
Yes.
can only regulate as it goes through our town.
Mm-hmm. And with Willenona, you know, we're only on the
One side of it.
western side of it. not
But that
the
shouldn't stop us from trying to
Mhm.
improve the part of any water course that goes through our town.
So so this just adds the definition, and this document describes there's considerations for differences between a water course and an
Mhm.
intermittent water course.
I see
And this
that.
document actually describes, 100 feet versus 50. So that's where that comes from. So now we have a definition. The second part for the section called 220-8, which is in here, and it wasn't really a perfect section to kind of put it in like there is in zoning, requirements for decision, but the first one is one that Rochelle has brought to my attention. If I agree with her, there's value if someone is bringing an application and they're talking about, wetlands disturbance or water course disturbance, the neighbors wouldn't know about that unless the commission chose to have a public hearing. And then again, part of the public hearing process is the applicant has to send, letters to all the adjoining property owners. Well, that adds time to the process. If we don't get it till, the first Monday, and you set the public hearing usually a month later, the neighbors might not hear about it until really right before the public hearing. That's possible. What she's suggesting, and I think it's a good idea, is if any application comes in and it is disturbing a water course or it's disturbing wetlands, I mean, there's a direct impact, not upland review area, direct impact, the application, let's notify the neighbors then.
We get a list of neighbors now, do we not?
We,
But we
Well,
don't
public
do
hearing.
anything with it, is that the
nothing
problem?
is done with it
Ah.
unless there's a public hearing.
Right.
Okay,
So this says, okay, as a part of the application process, when we get it, before it is complete, right, and we officially accept it and the clock begins to tick, we want to see that you've done the mailing. And
No,
that gives
I
the
understand
neighbors
that.
advance notice. And also, if for some reason the commission decides not to have a public hearing, which is the commission's purview, at least the neighbors were aware. So
Yeah,
that's what the first
the
part
only
is.
thing is with waterways, sometimes it goes beyond the adjacent property. It can have effect, for
It
so it's sort of a different situation than putting up a building and you notify adjacent property owners. I think we should sort of look at the distance of the disturbance, because
That's an idea,
it could go quite a distance too.
yeah. Definitely, we definitely can take a look at that. Yeah, we can definitely, like I said.
Once
this is-
again, it's just
yeah.
different than putting up a building
Yep.
on a property.
Are you
Yep.
saying that if you're disturbing a water course, you'd be interested in notifying everyone downstream?
Yes, it would depend, if
I
you,
mean, that could get
yes.
pretty
Yes,
ridiculous, of
yep,
course.
yep. If you're doing something on the Hudson River or the Connecticut River, that could be
Well,
very
every-
dicey, but
Yeah, every little stream in town goes into the Housatonic, which goes into the Long Island Sound, so. I mean,
well, we would have to determine with a given project who might be interfered with. It would vary, it might just be the adjacent property or could go a quarter of a mile. You never know.
Yeah, that's
well,
something to
something we
consider,
should
yeah.
think about. I can't imagine how you would write a regulation like that to say.
Well, it would involve some kind of an engineering study.
You're gonna require that of any application? I mean, we don't
No, I
wanna
think
make
it
this
would,
so-
I think it would be an
difficult.
application where other property owners might be affected, because not every application will adjacent property owners be affected.
That's something to consider,
Mhm.
and so, like I said, this is just sort of our first conversation with the
Yeah.
draft, so
Mhm.
we can mull this over, and if you can come up, or any of us can come up with some language, let's talk about it.
Where do we publish?
Where do we publish?
Yeah, when we say if it's approved to be the day after publication, where are we
The
publishing?
newspaper,
Hmm?
the newspaper.
The News Times.
No,
Should
you know
that
what's
be
interesting?
moved to online in addition? I mean, nobody reads the
Well,
newspaper
the
anymore.
News Times does have a digital edition,
Yeah.
and it's funny, when the Penny Saver was here,
Mhm.
the town used to publish in the Penny Saver,
I know.
and Hearst, which owns the News Times, there was a lawsuit over that, believe it or not. They were supposed to be the paper record, and the Penny Saver was less expensive. And, the Penny Saver, of course, has been gone for 2, 3, 4 years.
So why, though, could we not?
State regulations.
Well-
The state regulations dictate that it has to be a newspaper-like format. I don't have the exact words, but
Okay.
it is the state,
It has to be on paper.
it has to match what the state regulation is, and I think the state regulation
Yeah.
for the words, which you can find in the state
Okay.
regulations, talks about a paper with daily circulation.
What
So
I
that
was gonna
would-
get to is, it seems to me that even if it's not the only way we do it, the town website should have all this information on it,
We can definitely.
on an
Mhm.
easy-to-find
It's-
way.
That can
Now- now,
go beyond wetlands too.
Yeah.
Going
Oh,
back to what
absolutely.
you just said about where it gets published, the Penny Saver was weekly, and yet it was still used. I think it has more to do with distribution. The Penny Saver was sent to every mailing address
Yeah, I
in
don't
Brookfield.
remember the exact words, but it does
Yeah.
talk about a regular publication. you know,
Yes,
that's what it
yep,
says.
yep.
You're probably right, it doesn't say daily, but.
So you're right, we do, if there are state laws.
Yes, it would have to
Yeah,
be
match that.
a regular frequency to it. And incidentally, that rule is just, I think it's in every state in the country. It's not just Connecticut.
Could be.
I sell advertising for a newspaper in Brooklyn, New York,
Yeah.
and that's the paper of record for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And they get a ton of legal advertising in there. And it's not that they're wonderful, it's just
They're there.
they just have to do it. So there's a similar, I think it's all over the country. I think it's pretty much ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something, again, and so we want to put some things in, like I said, just write them down and we'll, you know, we can all talk about them. So the next, so that was the first one. Then we would probably, this NB, that's note bene, that's me, we'd give them a standard form. You know, we'd write up the standard form. It says, here's the standard form that you use and you just send it to everybody. So it wouldn't be free form, the notification wouldn't be free form. We would give them the template.
Okay.
And they put the names in and they sign it. So, ta-da. So that's easy enough. I think they have one now, we would just add to it.
I'm surprised we don't do that at this point.
We do it only for public hearing. Only for-
Yeah, no, that's very good. I'm definitely,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
yes, yep.
The next one again, and this is still kind of like a work in progress, but I think it's a part of the application here, because we talk about it all the time, and I think we just should document it. If you've got an application, you're proposing to do something in this riparian corridor, you gotta tell me about it. You gotta tell me what are those big trees that are in there, you know? Tell me about the shade coverage, you know, some portions of water courses, they might already been clear cut, you know, there isn't any shade in some of it, but some of it there is, so give me an assessment of the shade. Then, this one, 3, I think I still gotta do a little bit of work on here. And that
Yes.
is- Yeah, I gotta do a little what is there now? What animals are living in that area? Is there fish? Is there, you know, are there beavers and otters that live there? Well, you have, you know, tell me what's there.
How do you do that?
You go in there in an afternoon and you sit and watch. And what I'm suggesting is they gotta watch twice.
Right, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, you gotta watch twice. You just go in there for an
Would you
afternoon
want
and
to
watch.
put in weather conditions of some sort? Because if it's a sunny day, you're gonna see certain animals that you won't see on a rainy day or a snowy day.
I think we're gonna have it done by a biologist.
Said by, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
gotta be
should
by
say
a
this is
biologist, so
something
they
that
know those things.
The
you
average
know.
homeowner is not gonna be able to.
It's not gonna be the average
do this.
homeowner, yeah.
So,
Well, maybe you should put that in for number 3, you know,
we
a
kind of-
recognized biologist or
Yeah, number
licensed
5.
biologist.
Yeah, number 5, I pick it up in number 5.
are we kind of saying that there will be no more just kind of informal, the homeowner comes to us and said he'd like to do this, here's a hand drawing, and
We're
he
not-
writes in, put in a pool?
No, we're not, that's out of scope. That's not in here, at all, none of that.
Well, I'm saying if you're requiring all of this
For a riparian corridor.
for a riparian corridor, if the homeowner has a stream running through his backyard, it's going to involve a much more elaborate process than we might have.
Well, we could probably update this, because I probably said if a water course.
I'm not against it.
No,
I
no, no, no,
just-
no, I think you're right, we wouldn't necessarily need that. I think what I would probably say include, if the project includes, if the proposal includes activity in the riparian corridor.
Yeah,
The
So,
wetlands are in
so
the
a
riparian
homeowner could,
Riparian corridor.
You're gonna- okay.
Yeah.
Michael, a homeowner could come to us and want to do something and it was outside of the 100 feet
Yeah,
or,
whatever.
yeah, you're saying 50 feet along an intermittent water course?
Yeah.
Well,
So
currently,
there's still a very good chance that somebody might be doing something and
Yeah.
it won't be immediately
Mhm.
in the water.
Well, we could probably put some, unless, on commission's discretion, we can do something like that.
I would think.
Yeah.
And
We could
and
probably
I'm
do something
wondering,
with that.
and why did you, what was the thinking behind lowering the distance? The 100 feet along a water course is our current regulation.
It-
But and it's defined as an intermittent water course as well as a water course, is it
They
not?
overlap. Upland review areas and riparian corridors, I stumbled through that a little bit, they actually overlap. An intermittent water course is the 100 feet for the upland review area.
Correct.
All I'm talking about here with the riparian corridor is the assessment in the
Okay.
riparian corridor. And I'm saying if it's an intermittent water course,
You
the
don't need,
assessment can be within 50 feet
okay,
of an intermittent water.
before you're gonna require this
Yeah.
assessment.
Yeah,
Sharon, what you had just mentioned about at the commission's discretion, I don't know if we should have that in there, because I think everything should be very standardized. That could open us up to a lawsuit. We've allowed one person to do one thing and somebody else to do something else, and I think it should be very standardized as opposed to discretion. It's a little loose.
You're right, there's something to be gained and something to be lost on both sides, right? So I think for me, what problem would I rather manage? So,
Well,
Well,
yeah,
also-
every property is completely different anyway, so.
So anything in question, you always submit to the attorney.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but they're good thoughts, like I said, I don't wanna spend hours and hours on it, I wanna make this sort of like the first
Yeah.
part of a discussion, and then I'm gonna take some of these and add it, but that's kinda what I'm after with this
Mhm.
little F9, we'd probably stick it in there someplace, is an assessment. We usually ask for this stuff anyways, but now all I'm saying is a tree inventory, who lives there, it's a little bit more than a natural diversity database. Shade, I've never asked for that, but that's really what you get with the riparian,
Shade.
with the corridor. So I'm still working on those things a little bit. There's some language about the actual limitation that the state puts on the inland wetlands in terms of the animals that only the animals and the reptiles and the birds that we can care about, which is the ones that live in the water, not near the water. So I'm still working on that, but then the big one would be, like I said, in consideration of the riparian corridors, this is the big one. We would require that whatever is existing there now,
Within 35 feet.
within 35 feet, and that number comes pretty much from here. That
state.
number comes from, the state, it's on page 13.
Mhm.
It says, in most cases, riparian buffers narrower than 35 feet provide only limited benefits. So that's where the 35 feet comes from. It's well less than water quality protection, which can get you up to 150 feet. So that's the big one.
The
That's the big
second sentence down, this may be modified.
Yep,
Then you're getting, again, it's the same thing. Maybe it should be, it's something that's a little bit
Are-
more firm. Once again,
More-
we don't want to do one thing for one person, one thing for somebody else. So, I don't know, change the wording a little bit.
well, we could talk about it.
Are you kind of
I think
saying-
you wanna have, I personally think you wanna have a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
I personally think you do.
Are
Okay.
you suggesting in this paragraph that, that anything within 35 feet of a water course, can't be changed? It has
No,
to
no,
be-
no, I'm saying it'll require the conditions to remain. This requirement may be modified.
Okay.
And one
In
of the things.
in consideration of the inventory, in other words, to modify it, they would have to do something to improve, in other words.
You can
Like we
upgrade
do
it.
now,
You can't go lower, you
You
can go
can't
up.
go lower.
Right,
You can't go-
that's
yeah,
the,
thank
that's
you.
the.
You take
Yeah,
away
Can't go lower.
yeah.
10 feet of wetlands, you've gotta add 40 feet of wetlands someplace else.
Or something
Well,
like
maybe that should be spelled out there too, somehow,
Well, we can take a look
in
at how
very
to do it.
general terms.
That we need to,
Yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, sometimes there's property, and I won't mention it, it's on Federal Road. There was a brook there, and the brook was a disaster. It was a disaster. There were terrible trees there, it was full of invasives. And what we ended up with is on the northern side of it, they were gonna take out the invasives, they were gonna replant it with more native trees. So the creek was gonna get better, or even the one we talked about today. They were pretty much 35 feet on all that southern side. And now with maybe within 50 feet, they're gonna plant, they're gonna take out some invasives, it's gonna be better. So
Mhm.
I wanted to give that consideration for that, you know?
Okay,
So that's kind of what I'm after.
so in a
Just
sense,
incidentally, the states sort of require that things are better
No.
afterwards. It's us that's doing it, okay?
so what we do that now, on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
But you're trying to codify, that within 35 feet, you definitely need to either don't touch it or
Or
prove to us
make it
that you're
better.
improving it.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I understand this is a first draft and we're
Yeah.
not gonna argue about 35 feet or 40 or 50 or 10.
Well, eventually we will.
Eventually,
Yeah,
but for
eventually
now,
we will,
it's just the
but-
concept.
Yeah,
No, I think
I
it's
think it's a
okay
very
to
good
spell out a specific distance.
I do too.
You know,
I do too. And-
the more specific we are, the less confusion there is.
Mhm. And I think it
And
might avoid.
you know, we always want to have an air of impartiality, and, you know,
I'm kind of agreeing.
the looser you get,
that there's been times we've sat around this table saying, and you say this occasionally, I just don't know here, I can go either way, it's a tough decision. I don't like it, but maybe we have to, and this might give us a little more, I don't want to use the word cover, it might
Well,
give
let's
us a little.
assess expectations, right?
Yeah,
Let's
a
set
little more,
expectations.
specific guidance.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
so there's not as much back and forth.
yeah, and we're not having to make the decision in the heat of
Yeah,
5 people standing here saying, oh, it's this and this and
yeah,
this.
yeah,
and
yeah,
We're trying, well, no, you can't do that.
right,
That's our line in the sand.
yep.
well, it's just better, it's fairer doing it that way.
Agreed.
So the other one I didn't, for some reason, I think when I did it, I wrote it, and then it didn't end up in here. I'm thinking also that we'd probably make one more change, and this would be any upland review area, that the plantings, any new plantings in the upland review area have to be native shrubs and trees. You can have whatever flowers annual as you want, that's fine,
Okay.
fine. But anything in the upland review area that you are planting has to be native.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
Well, I
could we
would put the word
define-
native in there,
As,
you know.
as defined by a state of Connecticut
Is there such a
commission,
thing?
agency, or university.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Some,
We'll give
somewhere
them-
to define that,
Yeah, whatever that turns out to be.
yeah.
That sort of
What was
goes
the
back
other
to
one?
Area
I just
1
forgot
today,
what
doesn't
yours-
it?
What is the one, you had one, an idea.
Area 1
About the,
today.
Yeah.
about the, spray, the stuff
Oh, right, Roundup,
right,
right, also,
um,
no Roundup,
the Roundup, right,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
no Roundup. In,
You know, I
Really, in
see
water courses?
legal ads, in-
Within the water course, even upland review, any of that
Yeah.
area.
Any area we
I
have
think-
control over.
you know,
Well, I
instead of
think we could
using
put
the,
it in as a note, we could discuss it.
trademark of Roundup,
yeah,
we should find out
Yeah,
what the bad
Because
ingredient was.
Even in the upland review area, it has potential
Yeah.
to get back down there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
not only harm the
Roundup.
plants, harm
Okay.
Yeah,
the
I
critters
think
too.
David makes a point,
Right.
because Roundup is a brand name, maybe we should,
Well, you can use.
We should
glyphosate.
find out what the
It's glyphosate.
troublesome
Ingredient
ingredient
is.
is.
It's called glyphosate.
That's what
Yeah.
you want to put in then,
Right.
not the brand.
Yeah, yeah,
And incidentally, there's apparently a class action suit on this. I see
Yeah, I heard that
TV
too.
commercials late at night
Yeah.
at some law firm, and they said if you worked with Roundup in an
I've seen that.
agricultural setting and you have,
call us.
Yeah, but
cancer or
any one
whatever.
of these different ailments.
yes,
I give a list of
please,
ailments.
please call us.
Right.
You might get a settlement for millions.
Yeah. You'll get 50 cents and they'll get that.
Yes, that is true. Yep, that happens.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I appreciate the 15 minutes. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna time box this a little bit. Gonna leave this with you, I'll clean it up. It'll be on the agenda, we're gonna continue this motion here, so it'll be here. I guess it'll be old business then. And we will, we will progress to try and get some consensus,
Mhm.
okay?
Okay.
All right, then I'll just make the motion then to continue the proposed draft updates to wetlands regulations to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll
Sure.
second it.
Okay.
Okay, Michael seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries unanimous. All right, thanks, guys. That was good conversation. All right, review of the previous minutes. Dun, 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 May 9th.
I have not had a moment to read it, so has anyone?
Well, why don't we look at it right
These
now?
are Rochelle's, 'cause she was kind enough to do these for us. I'm sure they're fine, because this is right here.
I just noticed something, and I don't know if it's important, but there's no note in here that we had a discussion about 33 or 35 Merlin Brook, whatever it is.
Right here.
Did I miss it?
What-
Oh,
what
there it
page
is.
are you
Okay, I'm
on?
sorry. I
No,
was
no,
reading
that's
too
okay.
fast. I just skipped it because it didn't have a number in front of it.
What page was Merlin on?
First one.
It's under the 731 Federal Road inspections.
Okay. Oh, yes, yep, yep.
All right, I'm okay with the motion.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it, and I think it's pretty good, given the fact that we didn't have a recording
I think the
secretary here.
only- Yeah, the only thing is, I'm on page 3. The third paragraph, hoping they could make the building smaller. It's not the building, it was the infiltration.
Well, why don't we change?
Where are we?
Third paragraph down, page 3. Chair S. Fox said she was hoping they could make the building smaller. possibly
No,
digging-
well,
It's-
I
it
think we
was-
did mention that, but the digging had to do with
With the
the
infiltration.
infiltration basin.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't
then
make
the
the
next
building
sentence
smaller,
says that the-
possibly digging deeper. You wouldn't do it, wouldn't do it that way.
But the next sentence where you said they could make the building smaller and therefore the basin could be smaller,
I
that
did
was
say
correct.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
do
did say
feel
that.
you might have said, I don't have a recording of the thing.
No, 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 but this first sentence doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It does, the first sentence doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't make the building smaller by
Yeah,
digging
no, no,
deeper.
you're 100% correct, that
Okay, so we
make
make
the
one.
infiltration basin.
Yeah. So just in the motion, we can just update.
Well, why don't we just change the word on there?
Yeah, we're going to.
In the motion.
Yep. All right, I'll make a motion then to approve the minutes for Monday, May 9th with one change on page 3, third paragraph down, sentence that begins, Chair S. Fox said she was hoping to make this building smaller. Replace the word building with the word infiltration basin. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. I have to abstain. I
Okay,
wasn't
thank
there.
you very much. So motion carries 3-0 to 1. Bob abstains. So that is that. Informal discussion? I think just for Christine, when you listen to these on the informal discussion, I think we can take out item A, just tidy it up a little bit. Item A, riparian buffers, no longer needs to be on informal discussion. It's now a matter of new business going to old business, so that can be changed. On that, anything else? If not, how about a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to
All
adjourn.
right, thanks, Dave. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We are adjourned. So I'm gonna
Thank
turn
you
off
much.
Turn off the-
recorder. Stop.
You should have
your turn the-
light off there. And then you want to do something?
Yeah, what do you gotta do? Do something, Dave.
Good luck.
Do something to turn that off.